Folks, hello. Welcome to Tavern Chat. So the Paizo Union, the United Paizo Workers Union, this is getting a little frosty, a little special. So if you go to N World, they mention that Jason Tondro, senior editor for Pathfinder and Starfinder, has indicated a large swath of Paizo freelancers have stopped work and supported the recently formed union by Paizo employees. Well, that's not quite what happened. Let's let's go through the tweets, and I will do this with commentary because I think it deserves commentary. This is from October 15th. Jason Tondro. Today I want to shine a spotlight on UPW Secret Weapon, Freelancers. By the way, freelancers are how 95% of your RPG material gets created, right? Okay. It's not freelancing, they're self-publishing. So, Paizo's freelancers are our ally in this fight, and we're helping each other. Here's how. Paizo's business model is built on freelancers. That's, like I said, pretty much all the publishers are built upon freelancers unless they are self-publishing, in which case they are freelancing for themselves. Right? Very few of the words in our publications are written in-house by full-time employees on the clock. Instead, we outline projects, hire freelancers to execute those outlines, and develop and edit those manuscripts. All right, fair enough. This allows a relatively small number of people, about 35, including art directors, editors, designers, developers, and more. So now we know how many people are, in theory, part of the Paizo Union, to produce, well, everything. Have you seen our publication schedule lately? It's long. And Paizo must publish new books to pay its bills. That is true. Publishers have to publish new books to pay their bills. And what happens when costs go up, right? Which is what's going to happen. That's the dirty little secret here. I'm not saying that costs shouldn't go up. I'm not saying that people aren't underpaid. But when costs go up for the publisher, they have to make that up by either downsizing, right, or publishing more, and or increasing prices. Um, Money doesn't grow on trees, and you can't print your own even if you're a publisher. So, well, about a month ago, about 40 of Paizo's most reliable, prolific, and skilled freelancers simply stopped working. So now you notice this isn't about the union. They stopped working prior to this. In official parlance, this is called concerted action. In layman's terms, it's a strike without a union. Okay, fair enough. Some of these freelancers were in the middle of projects with upcoming deadlines. Some of them had completed manuscripts they refused to turn over. Some were people we need to hire to get scheduled books underway in time to publish. All of that froze. All right. Now, let's take a step back and say, what happens if these freelancers continue to not work? Paizo produces nothing. Paizo goes under, and there's nobody working at Paizo. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago, what was it, Drake's and Hostess? They had a big strike, and what happened? These companies went under. Yes, the brand names got resold, but the companies themselves went under. So, and again, I will tell you that I believe that creators in this industry are underpaid for the work they do, but it doesn't mean that there is money to pay them significantly more without increasing the prices for gamers who can be, dare I say it, historically cheap. All right, moving on, folks. Paizo can't operate in that environment. No company can. We can't just assign 10,000 word organized play scenarios, 35,000 word SF adventures, I guess, what the science fiction game is, right? 50,000 word P2 adventures, Pathfinder 2, to new untested freelancers. And for many projects, it's too late in the schedule to do that anyway. All right. So here's the thing: the freelancers feel that they are in the position of power. They can come with the works, and they have. Okay. Now, this group of freelancers had a specific list of demands. They wanted Paizo to hire a diversity officer, for example. That's an additional cost. It's a full-time position, right? And I don't know, in Seattle, I'm going to lowball it and say 40 grand a year, right? That's probably too low, but you know, who knows? And investigate recent terminations. Now, again, this is all came up because somebody with a funny hat decided to blow up Paizo's sordid history. Okay. But yesterday, they updated their demands. So we don't want the rest of this stuff. We'll settle for one thing. We'll all come back to work if Paizo recognizes United Paizo Workers. Interesting. Now, that makes someone like me, wonder if these freelancers weren't encouraged to do their job action by members of what would become the union. Certainly seems very coincidental, and they made demands as freelancers they knew were probably not going to be met. But now they've come back with a much more agreeable demand. We don't want you to spend money on a diversity officer. We don't need you to do an investigation into the firing of a customer service manager. No, 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 no. How about something that's cost free? Recognize the union. Interesting, right? Can't prove it, but I find it very interesting. So, this is an enormous lever. Yes, it is. And we at UPW are incredibly grateful to have it. Probably because UPW put it into fucking motion. Paizo can't make its publication schedule without freelancers. And it can't pay exec salaries without publications. Got news for you. It can't pay any salaries without publications, including those of the newly formed union, which has yet to be recognized. So, if nothing gets published, nobody gets paid. Yes, strikes are often a game of chicken. Generally speaking, from what I've seen with my father when he worked for the phone company, in the long run, the game of chicken, both sides come out claiming that they won. Both sides usually wind up having lost something, and somewhere in the middle is where you come out and say, not much really happened. That's not always the case. Sometimes negotiations without strikes can get unions what they need. But this is obviously the United Paizo Workers starting a job action before they were even recognized. Heck, before they were even announced. So I give them a lot of credit. I'm not saying it's going to work, but I give them a lot of credit. Now, if they recognize our union, freelancers come back to work tomorrow. Sure, yes, contract negotiations will be long and trying for all involved. But Paizo will still get books out the door. It'll be able to make its commitments and pay its bills and salaries. And during contract negotiations, we, the people who hire freelancers, can pay back. So again, you do see how the union is using freelancers to do their dirty work. If the union strikes, well, they don't even have a union yet, right? Just right now, right? But the union strikes, they don't get paid. Freelancers aren't getting paid by the hour, so if they just stop doing work, they can still do the work in the background and withhold it. And then when the work is done, present it and get paid. All right, we're going to give up our work now. Yeah, no, I did it all. I know what, I withheld it for 3 weeks, or maybe, yeah, I know it wasn't even due to next month, and I said I wasn't working on it, but hey, I finished it. Trust me. I suspect that all the work that's going to be withheld is going to be damn well ready when it's asked for. In contract negotiations, we can fight for better pay rates for freelancers. Sure, you can. We can get more time in the schedule so writers have time to do their job right. Okay. We can get playtesting built into these schedules, which not only helps freelancers, but creates better books. All right. But these are really non issues, right? Better pay for freelancers. All right, that's certainly what they want. But if they're a freelancer, um, they kind of know what pay they're being offered, right? And if Paizo is the market, Paizo sets the rates. So yeah, you can fight for better rates for these freelancers, but what you're really going to be fighting for is better rates for your union members, unless the long game is to turn the United Paizo Workers into something of um, what is it they have out in Hollywood where you have that set rate for oh God, I can't Screen Actors Guild, right? Maybe everybody's gonna have to get their Paizo Workers card, and if you don't have your Paizo Workers card, if you're not a member of the Paizo Workers Union, you don't get hired as a freelancer, right? Technically, you are a freelancer, but technically, then you would be part of this. There's something going on, in my humble opinion, because Communication Workers of America is a major umbrella union, and they're not going to be getting involved with just 35 people without having higher aspirations. And if the higher aspirations are to get freelancers within the RPG hobby some kind of union, it's going to change things. It's going to put a lot of smaller publishers, or even larger ones, out of business. If and how would they enforce that, right? Well, you'd have to have a company like Drive-Through say, "Well, we'll only work with publishers that have their freelancers are covered by the union." It isn't that far of it isn't that far out. Again, there's more going on here than just what we're seeing. Paizo's freelancers and United Paizo workers are working hand in hand, and I'm so grateful, honored, and humbled to have that partnership. Technomancer, we will not let you down. So, mark this down. This is going to be a very interesting couple of months because what Paizo does, how Paizo responds to this, I believe is going to have repercussions one way or the other throughout this hobby industry. Now, if you publish for yourself, if you're a self publisher, you're probably good, right? But then the moment that you hire somebody to submit work, well, were they hired at union rates? What are union rates? And now maybe you're somebody who does excellent work and you get paid, I don't know, 20 cents a word, and somebody else is, average and they're getting paid 4 cents a word. Now, does everybody get paid 7 cents a word because they're all union members? I don't know. That'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I am going to stand by my prediction that if Paizo recognizes this union, The goal for the union, the goal for the CWA is not to stop at 35 members. It's going to somehow bring the freelancers in and expand it beyond the Paizo workers. I could be wrong. I'd love to hear your opinions on this. If you think I am full of shit, tell me. If you think I've got some ideas that are right, but maybe some of my conclusions are wrong, drop a comment. Or leave a voicemail, 347-509-5168. I'd like to get some feedback on this. Because this is going to be interesting no matter how it plays out. All right, folks, listen, we're still in the midst of the world of COVID. I am not telling you what to do. It's not my position. All I'm going to do is suggest that you use your common sense to keep yourself, your family, your friends, your loved ones healthy and safe. Be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. And I will be back again tomorrow, God willing. All right, folks. On that note,